Have you ever found yourself screaming, lashing out, or desperately trying to make someone understand how much they've hurt you, only to realize it changes nothing? Be honest with yourself for a moment. Has losing your temper ever made them regret what they did? Here's the truth that most people won't tell you. Rage isn't a weapon, it's a leash. When you react with anger, they win. They know exactly how to push your buttons, how to provoke you, and how to make you lose control. And when you explode, you're doing exactly what they expect. You become predictable, easy to manipulate, and most importantly, you play right into their hands. But do you know what they never expect? Silence. Silence isn't weakness, it's power. It confuses them, dismantles their tactics, and takes away the reaction they crave. Every insult, every mind game, every manipulative move, they all crumble when you refuse to engage. If you've ever been betrayed, used, or manipulated, this is the video that will change everything for you. And I promise you, if you watch until the very end, you'll never react the same way again. Why anger makes you predictable? Why do toxic people enjoy provoking you? Why do they feel so powerful when they push your limits? Because they already know what's going to happen. They've done it before, not just to you, but to countless others. They set the bait, and when you react emotionally, they win. Think about it. Every time you yell, they stay calm and watch as you exhaust yourself. Every time you try to explain your pain, they ignore it or twist your words. Every time you demand respect, they smirk, knowing they still have control. And the worst part, your reaction gives them exactly what they need. It makes you look out of control, overly emotional, and weak, exactly the way they want others to see you. Now ask yourself, when was the last time your anger actually changed anything? Did your outburst make them stop hurting you? Did your words make them feel remorse? Or did they just stand there calm and composed while you burned yourself out? The reality is they've mastered this game, and as long as you react, you'll always lose. But what happens when you stop playing? What happens when you refuse to give them what they want? That's when everything changes. Every time you react in anger, you think you're standing up for yourself. You believe your words will make them see the damage they've caused. But here's a truth most people won't tell you. They don't actually care about what you say when you're angry. They don't hear your words, they only see your reaction. And that's exactly what they'll use against you. They'll twist the story to make you look unstable. They'll tell others that you are the problem, and because emotions speak louder than logic, people will believe them. Your reaction will become your reputation, while they walk away looking like the victim. And that's how they win. They provoke you, push you, manipulate you until you snap. Then they sit back and watch as you struggle to defend yourself while they control the narrative. The one thing they never expect: silence. But do you know what they can't handle? Total, unshakable silence. When you refuse to react, you take away their power. Every insult they throw, every trap they set, every game they play, it all falls apart the moment you stop giving them what they want: your emotional response. Silence isn't just about not speaking, it's about not giving them validation. And without that validation, they crumble. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone desperately trying to provoke a reaction, only to be met with complete calm? It unsettles them. It makes them doubt themselves. Suddenly, they're the ones replaying every word in their head, questioning why you didn't react the way they expected. They start wondering, did I lose my control over them? And the truth is, yes, they did. Silence is strength, not weakness. Silence isn't a sign of defeat. It's a sign of control. When you refuse to engage, you force them to confront the one thing they've been avoiding their entire lives: themselves. Without your reaction to fuel them, they have to sit with their own insecurities, their own failures, and their own hollow existence. And that's a battle they're not prepared to fight. You might be thinking, but what about my pain? Don't I deserve to be heard? Of course you do. But here's the hard truth. They don't care about your pain. They don't lose sleep over the nights you cried. They don't carry the scars you do. While you're stuck reliving the hurt, they've already moved on, satisfied that they got to you. So stop giving them that satisfaction. Your silence isn't about ignoring your pain. It's about refusing to let them see it. Your pain is not their entertainment. And it's definitely not their victory. The ultimate power move. Imagine this. They insult you, fully expecting you to lash out. That moment of silence, it's the most powerful thing you can do. Because in that moment, they realize they've lost their grip on you. And nothing scares them more than that. When someone is trying to manipulate, provoke, or control you, they expect a reaction. They want you to argue, explain yourself, get defensive, or lose your temper. That's the game they play, the same one they've played countless times before because it usually works. But what happens when you don't react? What happens when you meet every insult, every attack, and every passive-aggressive comment with absolute silence? Silence is not weakness, it's ultimate control. Most people think silence is just ignoring someone, but that's not true. Silence is a powerful disruptor. It's not passive, and it's not avoidance. It's a deliberate act of control. When you stay silent, you're the one setting the terms. You decide if, when, and how you'll respond, if at all. And in that moment, you take away their greatest weapon, your reaction. In every interaction, the person who controls their emotions controls the situation. The moment you allow anger, frustration, or insecurity to take over, you hand them control. They expect you to lash out. They expect you to defend yourself. They expect you to try to make them understand your side. But what they're not prepared for? Your silence. Silence forces them to face themselves. Picture this. They insult you. They accuse you of things you didn't do. They bring up your deepest insecurities, hoping to break you. And instead of engaging, you sit there, calm, collected, unshaken. That silence doesn't just frustrate them, it forces them to sit with their own emotions, their own manipulations, their own insecurity. They wanted to pull you into their storm, but instead, they're left drowning in it alone. Because here's the truth, silence is a mirror. It reflects their chaos right back at them, forcing them to see themselves for who they really are. And most people can't handle that kind of reflection. They can twist your words. They can manipulate an argument, but they can't twist silence. They can't weaponize something that isn't there. And that makes them feel powerless. Why silence is hard, but necessary. Mastering silence takes discipline. It takes strength. It requires you to let go of the need to prove yourself, to correct false accusations, to explain your side of the story. You have to accept that their opinion of you is irrelevant, that their words don't define you. Because silence isn't about them, it's about you. It's about choosing peace over chaos, strength over drama, self-respect over desperation. Silence separates you from the rest. People will test you, they'll push your limits, they'll see how much they can take from you before you break. But when you don't break, when you meet their games with complete and unshakable silence, it terrifies them. It shows them that you're different, that you're not someone they can manipulate, control, or destroy. You're a fortress, and their petty mind games are nothing more than pebbles hitting your walls. They want to see you lose control, but instead, you look them in the eyes, calm, unbothered, and say absolutely nothing. The cost of engaging versus the power of silence. Think about the last argument you had with someone who was trying to provoke you. How did you feel afterward? Drained, angry, frustrated? Maybe you replayed the conversation in your head for hours, thinking about what you should have said or done differently. That's the price you pay every time you engage in their chaos. But silence? Silence costs you nothing. It doesn't drain your energy. It doesn't steal your peace. It doesn't make you question yourself. And the best part, it costs them everything. When they can't provoke you, they lose their power. When they can't control your emotions, they lose their influence. And when they lose those things, they're forced to confront the one thing they've been running from their entire lives: themselves. Silence doesn't just protect you, it destroys them. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their game, don't play. Hold your silence, let them unravel, and walk away knowing that in their mind, your silence will echo louder than any words you could have ever said. Pain is inevitable, but it can be your greatest strength. If you're alive, if you're human, then pain is unavoidable. You will face heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment. It's part of life. But pain itself is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher, a force that can either break you or build you. The problem is, most men don't know how to use it. They let it consume them. They allow pain to define them, control them, and weaken them. But you are not most men. Pain is not your prison. It's your forge. Think about it. Diamonds are created under pressure. Steel is made stronger through fire. The most unbreakable materials on earth are formed in the harshest conditions, and you are no different. Every betrayal, every insult, every moment of heartbreak, it's shaping you, strengthening you, molding you into the man you're meant to be, but only if you let it. Too many men allow pain to turn them bitter, resentful, and closed off. They carry their wounds like a badge, using them as excuses, reasons why they can't trust, why they can't succeed, why they can't move forward. But here's what they don't realize. Every wound is an opportunity. Every scar tells a story. Every painful experience is a lesson, a stepping stone toward growth. You don't get stronger by avoiding pain. You get stronger by facing it, by embracing it, by learning from it. Pain strips away ego, illusions, and self-deception. It forces you to confront the truth about yourself, about others, about life. And here's the truth. You are stronger than you think. The only thing standing between you and the man you're meant to become is your willingness to endure and rise. Your pain is not for them, it's for you. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is showing your pain to the wrong people. The ones who hurt you, they don't deserve to see your struggle. They don't deserve to know how much you've suffered. Because your pain is not their entertainment. It's your fuel. It's the fire that will drive you forward. The foundation on which you'll build a life so strong that one day they won't even recognize you. And when that day comes, they will realize they never broke you. Walking away is the ultimate power move. Walking away is not weakness, it's not surrender, it's not giving up. Walking away is power. It's the ultimate way to say, you are not worth my time, my energy, or my words. And yet, so many men hesitate to walk away because they think it means losing. But let me ask you this, when you walked away from someone toxic, how did they react? Did they just accept it? Or did they try to pull you back in? Did they manipulate, guilt trip, or try to convince you to stay? That's because walking away takes their power away. It forces them to face a truth they never wanted to admit, that they have no control over you anymore. And that realization terrifies them. Walking away isn't running, it's rising. It's choosing peace over conflict, growth over stagnation, freedom over control. And every step you take away from them is a step toward the man you were always meant to be. Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. Walking away is not easy. It takes discipline, self-respect, and the courage to let go. You have to resist the urge to explain yourself, to defend your actions, to make them understand why you're leaving. Because here's the hard truth, they will never understand. They don't want to. They want you to stay, to fight, to argue, because that's how they keep you under their control. When you walk away, you don't just reclaim your power, you shatter theirs. You show them that their opinion of you doesn't matter, that their manipulation no longer works, that their control over you is gone. And that realization, it will haunt them more than any argument ever could. Silence is strength. Walking away is not about being cold, unfeeling, or distant. It's about being strong enough to choose yourself, to recognize that you deserve better, that your time, energy, and peace are too valuable to waste on someone who refuses to see your worth. And when you walk away, when you refuse to play their games, you become untouchable. You become the man they will never forget. Not because you yelled the loudest, but because your silence spoke louder than any words ever could. This is how you take back your power. When you stop reacting, you stop being their puppet. When you walk away, you break their illusion of control. And when you succeed, when you rise above their drama, their games, their toxicity, your success will burn brighter than any of their chaos. So if you're ready to reclaim your strength, if you're ready to build a life so powerful that their existence becomes irrelevant, then it's time. Hit that subscribe button, join the brotherhood of men who refuse to be controlled, and comment below, "I choose silence." Because silence isn't just the absence of words, it's the loudest roar of a man who refuses to be broken.